It's Kevin McCullough on AM 970, The Answer.
You're listening to Kevin McCullough Radio, where we talk about breaking news as it happens, what it means, and why it matters.
Kevin McCullough, and here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Obliterating confusion.
Amplifying truth.
And pursuing clarity.
Kevin McCullough, now.
All right, coming up, the very, very latest on this morning's terror attack right here in our city, what it means and why it matters. Commissioner Bernie Kerik will be with us. Also, we've got an update on CNN fake news, the Senate race in Alabama, and it's a Money Monday. Don't go away. Busy episode.
Binge thinking.
Kevin McCullough.
Something interesting is happening with this.
Kevin McCullough, let me start with you.
I found this thing at townhall.com by Kevin McCullough.
The big dog
has come out of nowhere.
Kevin McCullough,
I just want to help people think.
nationally syndicated radio host and author of No He Can't.
He is playing the role as well as anybody could.
Kevin McCullough is a nationally syndicated radio host and author of No He Can't.
The odds are he's right.
It's Kevin McCullough Radio.
Let's be also clear, this was an attempted terrorist attack. Thank God the perpetrator did not achieve his ultimate goals.
Wow, I'm almost ready to fall over from shock. Those words come from Bill de Blasio's mouth. Kevin McCullough, glad you're with us. Very busy edition. And you know what? I'm getting sick and tired of something. This morning and all this afternoon and even right up until showtime, I was getting email into the inbox, the public inbox, kmcradio@gmail.com, from different groups saying, dear Mr. McCullough, the Muslims of this organization and the Muslims of that organization and these Muslims over here and those Muslims over there, and we none of us support what this man did this morning. Okay, why are you telling me this? Where are your faces on network television? Why aren't you standing post at Fox News and CNN right now, standing up and saying, hey, as Muslims, we are completely denouncing this being done in the name of our faith? What's with these little impish emails coming to me going, please be kind. Please don't. If the guy's a radical jihadist and somehow he got that from your faith, that's on you. You've got to deal with that. That's not my business. But I'm not going to say that he was just some extremist that had that it was just completely secular and had no identity in anything else. I'm not going to say that. So stop asking me to. Someone who will have the very latest on all things that have happened in this investigation thus far is Commissioner Bernie Kerik, former NYPD commissioner. On the day of 9/11, he was standing duty that day and has been faithfully trying to protect the United States of America ever since, serving presidents and even foreign allies as we have tried to fight this ugly extremist jihadism. Bernie Kerik, welcome back to the Kevin McCullough microphone. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Kevin.
What's the very latest? What do we know?
Well, look, you've got a Bangladeshi national that came into the country about 7 or 8 years ago. Not sure how he was inspired or came to the ideology he has. Got down into the subway system today, had a 5 or 6 inch pipe bomb, low tech, not too powerful. Don't know what his plans were to detonate, but I'm sure it wasn't to detonate himself in a manner where he wasn't going to injure anyone else. Luckily for us, both he and his device were a dud. And now we got to sort of backtrack to figure out where he came from, who he is, who his associates are. Was he being funded? Where was he radicalized? Where did he come up with this ideology? Why do you want to do this? Where was he really going? It appears as though he was walking through one of the halls, the tunnels of the subway system. Think if he got on a train when this happened, the response would have been a little different. Maybe injuries would have been a little different. Luckily for us, he was a dud. But I think this brings a couple things to mind. One, nobody should be surprised it happened,
right,
as I constantly remind you. Two, that if he had a bigger device in a backpack or some other manner to carry it, and that device did go off at that time in the morning, you're talking about 500,000 people in that system between 42nd Street and 8th Avenue in Grand Central Terminal. A lot of people, a lot of damage, a lot of chaos. Could have been a very different circumstance. But so let's see where it goes from here.
We are still getting details coming into the newsroom as we report this with you with Bernie Carrick here on Kevin McCullough Radio. Fox News is reporting that he had this device in his jacket. They are saying that he worked for the electrical company. They are saying that he was a beneficiary of something called chain migration. Bernie, when you were police commissioner, how significant was the immigration status of people, particularly if they came through chain migration or other types of immigration policy? How significant is that for us to realize?
Well, it's significant now because back when I was police commissioner prior to 9/11, nobody paid any attention to it. Nobody knew what it was. Nobody focused on the lottery system. Nobody focused on anchor babies. Nobody focused on the chain migration system. Nobody paid any attention to it. Only now, and really only in the last 10 months, 11 months under President Trump, has people, both the general public and people in Washington, started to focus on it. So I'm sure with the president's immigration focus, this is something he'll be looking at.
We're still getting more details in. The New York Post also reporting, Ruth Brown for the Post, reporting that that he was ISIS-inspired, but they're also saying that he has now gone on record as to say that the cause of this attack was to exact revenge for the Israelis responding to the violence in Gaza. Now, if that's all true, and I know that you've got to connect a lot of dots there, Bernie, but if that's all true, then what are we to take away from these supposed peaceful Palestinians and Muslims that just want to live side by side with their Israeli friends?
Well, listen, you do have, peaceful Palestinians that live in Jerusalem.
Right. The peaceful Palestinians live in Israel. The ones that they can't trust live in Gaza.
Yeah, exactly. And, listen, the bottom line is the haters, if you will, these guys that have hijacked the Quran and, are the outlaws of Islam. I don't care what the Jerusalem issue is, the Israeli issue, makes no difference. They hate Americans. They hate the West. They hate freedom. They hate everybody that does not believe in the same God they do, period. I don't care if they're called ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram. I don't care what they're called. It's the ideology, and this guy was of the ideology that, if you don't believe in my God, I get to kill you. And, the bottom line is they're going to kill us or we're going to kill them first, and I'd much rather be on the hitting end than waiting for them to attack us.
Right. Bernie, I got to confess something, and it's not something that I'm proud of, but I need to tell you my natural reaction to it. So this goes down. I'm headed to the station this morning. I am on public transit. I get off in this one stop, and I've got to transfer to another train. The guy that is getting off the train in front of me was a 27-year-old Arab-looking gentleman that had a backpack that was awkwardly shaped. It had one big bulge on one side of it. The other side was kind of awkwardly flat. I see lots of backpacks in the subways every day. He got fidgety with his hands. He got fidgety in his pockets. He was all by himself. He had not talked to anybody on the entire train ride. And, Bernie, I'm ashamed to say this, but what was going on in my head was we don't know if this is a multi-pronged thing or if that was a one-time thing that happened this morning. And I got really, really nervous about someone who was getting fidgety with his hands in his pockets about a backpack that looked weird and he happened to fit a certain profile. But, Bernie, is that not the natural reaction that we're going to have when these things are taking place and, our mayor comes out and goes, oh, well, we're all resilient here? I mean, how do we will we ever be able to get to the place where I don't prejudge someone based entirely on odd behavior and kind of how their what the profile is?
Unfortunately, Kevin, as we watch these things unfold, when you look at some of these guys, I remember The guy that ran over all these people on West Street.
Right.
I was getting calls within 60 seconds after it happened, and I asked somebody who was there. Do you know that? Could you tell the nationality? And immediately, the person on the phone with me said, "This guy is a terrorist. I could tell by the way he looks." The bottom line is, listen, certain people of certain faiths look a certain way, but all I could tell you is all Muslims are not terrorists.
I get that. But it was a very nervous, long walk for me down that 100 feet to the next connection.
No, I get it. I understand it, but it's something we're going to have to, this is the world we live in, the world we're going to have to deal with in the future.
Yeah. All right, Commissioner, thank you for your insights, and thank you for telling us the truth no matter what. We appreciate it.
Kevin, thank you.
Coming up, did CNN get caught red-handed telling fake news this weekend? Molly Hemingway of TheFederalist.com and of Fox News Channel joins me with this exclusive. Do not go away. Plus, a little bit later, big Senate race in Alabama tonight. Gina Loudon weighs in on that, and it's a Money Monday. Stay with us. Do you know that there are 9 countries around the world that have already seized their citizens' assets to pay down their country's debt or to support their banking system? This is called a bail-in. Would you like to know the laws that have been passed here in the U.S. to seize your wealth? Or would you like to know how to protect your hard-earned money? Do you know that there are certain markets in gold and silver that are exempt from such confiscation? Central banks and wise investors see challenges ahead for America to manage its $20 trillion debt. They have bought gold, causing it to move up almost as much as stocks on this calendar year. Call Landmark Capital today at 844-604-2575 and find out how. 844-604-2575. That's 844-604-2575. You can also find more information at landmarkgold.com. But find out the facts today at 844-604-2575.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I do feel better, and my MS, I used to be right-handed, and now all my fine motor skills are gone. I can't write, and I cannot use knives. I can't, cut and cook. So then I got my husband's Balance of Nature books out, and I'm like, oh, my God, all the food that I'm supposed to be eating is stuff that's in these pills. So it's easier for me to take a pill because I can't chop up some things, and I can't, I just can't do that for myself. That's why I started doing this too, and I do have more energy that's working and helping me.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code The Answer.
Your new landscaping looks amazing. Who did you use?
I found a great local pro on HomeAdvisor.
Home what?
HomeAdvisor.com. It's really easy to use. I just put in what I need, and then they connect me with background check pros who can help.
Did you find your painter there too?
Yep, I use HomeAdvisor for everything.
How much does it cost?
It's free. And check it out. I can even book an appointment online.
That's so easy. How did I not know about HomeAdvisor?
Go to HomeAdvisor.com now or download the free app.
HomeAdvisor. Breaking news as it happens. You're listening to Kevin McCullough Radio.
Breaking news where we excel in not having fake news. In fact, fake news is something we explicitly condemn and forbid from coming onto the Kevin McCullough microphone on a daily basis. But there's been a lot of fake news, and CNN has again stepped in it. And today there is necessary analysis of what they are doing and why they are doing it and how they are doing it. And one of my favorite analysts in all the world is covering it for TheFederalist.com. But you've also seen her on Fox News today. I believe she was even with my colleague Mike Gallagher earlier this morning discussing this same story. And Molly, it's good to have you back at Kevin McCullough Radio.
Great to be here with you.
Talk to us about what CNN did, in case people didn't see the story expressly. But this is a pretty egregious, but also fairly typical illustration of what we've been talking about.
Yeah, on Friday morning, CNN had what they presented as a bombshell smoking gun report, an exclusive, that Russians had given Donald Trump Jr. or other people affiliated with the campaign advanced access to hacked emails that were on the WikiLeaks site.
Implying that they were Hillary's or
actually, I don't think they said they were WikiLeaks, which is also because they weren't WikiLeaks. They messed up so many parts of this story, it's hard to keep
okay.
track.
Fair enough.
What turned out to be the case was that a random American sent a link unsolicited to publicly accessible hacked emails, or they might have been spear-phished emails, sent them to various people in the Trump campaign. And they did that after those emails were already publicly announced. So the story went from being the bombshell, smoking gun, this is it, we have finally proven that after a year of coming up empty, we finally have one little scintilla piece of evidence that might, if you interpret it a certain way, suggest collusion with Russia in a treasonous way. And instead it turned out to be literally like random American emails, Trump campaign people, about publicly available information. Now, CNN claimed they had two sources for this information. You know, you wonder, how can you get something like this so wrong? How can you not know how to read an email date correctly?
Right.
They say they admit they didn't see the email. They admit that they trusted two sources who are likely people on the House Intelligence Committee. They won't name who those sources are. They won't say what those sources did in terms of providing other
Adam
leads.
Schiff. Adam Schiff.
Yeah, exactly. I was wondering, Adam Schiff and his mother, Adam Schiff and his press secretary. But, you know, it really could have been anybody on the committee. And they won't say, you know, who the editors were. They say that nobody is being punished because they were following proper CNN editorial procedures. And you wonder, well, if your editorial procedures allow you to get duped by sources, are you going to change those editorial procedures? Nope, they're not changing anything apparently. And yeah, they're not telling us what other stories these sources leaked prior to this, whether they're evaluating any of those stories. They're not telling us anything at all. They've gone more or less completely mum, and they're just sort of pretending it didn't happen. This is only their latest mess up. They have had many stories pulled. Even the stories that haven't been pulled have been messed up. They've had to fire people previous to now. All the errors go in the same direction, which is an anti-Trump direction.
Right.
And they all should be totally humiliating and embarrassing to a media outlet that claims to be a trusted name.
Because they are largely dishonest in substance and one-sided in effect. And that's, I mean, it would be one thing if they had all downhill stories against Trump and all of them had truth to them. But the point here is that the most trusted name in news, isn't that what they? No, that was Fox's.
No, CNN says they're the most trusted name.
Okay, so there you go, and yet this has been a replete issue again and again since the election of last year.
Well, and at some point you have to ask if the scandal isn't the Russia conspiracy theory to begin with, meaning. At this point, we have no evidence that there's any treasonous.
But I like where you're going with this. Expand on it.
But is there a scandal that does need digging into? Is the scandal that somehow our entire media establishment totally accepted a narrative of collusion and pushed that narrative and got duped repeatedly over and over again through false leaks that they were getting? And I do believe, you know, that they really were getting these leaks from highly placed Democrats on the Intelligence Committee and highly placed intelligence chiefs from the Obama administration. Well, if it turns out there's no conspiracy, if there's no actual collusion, but that there's been this narrative, is it not the narrative pushing that needs digging into?
Sure.
Was this an operation? Like, now we know that the dossier itself was.
Well, that's what I was about to bring up. Even starting with the dossier, you've got dot to dot to dot to dot with either Hillary, Obama, Justice Department people, FBI, Mueller, Comey, Intelligence Committee members. I mean, it's like it never ends, and it always comes back to them.
And you think about how this whole story really got going. They tried to make it happen during the campaign, and it didn't really take off. But the way the story really got going is that an intelligence chief under the Obama administration leaked to CNN that they had briefed Trump and Obama on this dossier. Now everything looks different. Well, if that's how the story got going, and if that was like an intentional leak from a very highly placed person, Well, what does that signify? What should we take from that? These are the questions people should explore. Was this dossier used by the FBI to secure a wiretap against a Trump affiliate? Is that an appropriate thing for our intelligence agencies to be doing? To be playing around with a dossier that's been completely discredited and that is full of false information? Should that be used to allow our spying agencies to spy on American citizens, much less citizens affiliated with an opposing party's political campaign?
Yeah.
I mean, if people really care about misuse of intelligence agencies, we have a lot of questions we need to get answered, and really pretty quickly. We need those questions now. We need to know what was in that wiretap application. We need to know when the dossier was first used by the FBI and how they got the idea that this was okay to do.
The weaponizing of our intelligence services against we the people should be one of the biggest red flag indicators that our government has been on the wrong path, because that's exactly what they did in the Soviet states, and it's exactly where we don't want to go anywhere near. Molly, you've put these 18 questions that need to be answered in your latest piece at thefederalist.com, which I tell everyone needs to be their first op-ed stop every morning. 18 questions CNN needs to answer before after getting busted for fake news. Molly Hemingway, thanks for a bit of your time today.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Kevin McCullough Radio. When we continue, more on all things breaking news. Stay with us.
Planning a holiday, office, or corporate party? How about a family get-together, birthday party, dinner party, or black tie event? DR Catering, the official caterer of AM 970 The Answer, will create a custom menu that fits your taste and style and offer unique and extensive menus, custom-made for your specific needs. With expert consultation from setup to cleanup, the professional and friendly staff at DR Catering will be with you every step of the way, from budget planning, staffing, and location selection to floral design and decor. See your party come to life. Featuring traditional family-style food as well as following the latest food trends, DR Catering is dedicated to satisfying all your dietary needs. DR Catering also specializes in social, corporate, and pharmaceutical catering. Let them cater your next business lunch. To make your event a memorable one, call Dominic at 201-673-7380. That's 201-673-7380, or visit them online at drcatering.com.
Tired of dealing with dummies? Experience the smart way to buy a car at Route 22 Toyota. No hidden fees, no back and forth, no pressure, and no wasting time with dummies. Alex Cancella, the general manager, prides himself on his low lease offers and 0% APR financing for up to 72 months for qualified buyers. And now my buddy Alex wants you to experience their new smart way to service. He's taking the same smart approach that's been so successful in selling cars into the service bay. So he said, Joe, I'm going to let you give the first 5 callers in the next 5 minutes a free multi-point inspection and oil change and filter if they call 855-621-9949 and say, Joe sent me. 855-621-9949. In the next 5 minutes, get a free oil change and filter on me. 855-621-9949 and say, this one's on Joe. Route 22 Toyota, Route 22 West in Hillside, New Jersey, or at Route22Toyota.com. Tell them Joe sent you for the free oil change. All European makes excluded.
What you need to know when you need it. Kevin McCullough Radio.
We want jobs, jobs, jobs. So get out and vote for Roy Moore. Do it.
Very interesting. They had speculated as to whether or not the rally on Friday would include any Roy Moore official endorsement, and sure enough, he did. And not only that, robocalls were going out today in the president's voice, and they were telling people that you need to get out. Now, this comes on a very interesting reality today. By the way, it's Kevin McCullough Radio. Welcome. Glad you're with us. And we will keep you up to date on all the things related to any new developments as it relates to the terror attack from this morning. But I want to focus on this because tomorrow is the election in Alabama, and all of the Real Clear Politics polls show Judge Moore up nearly +4 on average across the board. This morning, a Fox News poll came out that said his opponent was up plus 10. And, of course, that got immediate, like, Twitter, like, oh, so I want to talk to somebody who's been on the ground, who's been out there talking to people and has seen it with her own eyes. She is Dr. Gina Loudon. She is from Alabama. She knows what the things on the ground look like, and she's been talking to the people that are involved in this race, not the least of which are people like Steve Bannon and others. Gina, it's good to have you back. Thanks for being here.
Great to be with you, Kevin. I'm so excited about this race, by the way.
So what is the truth about the polling at this moment?
Well, the truth about the polling is the truth about all polling, and that is that pollsters, generally speaking, are out to be opinion makers, not poll takers. And we have to get that through our heads. We remember not all that long ago one certain candidate named Donald J. Trump, and if you read through the pollsters' opinions, there was no way he could win over and over again. My prediction, Kevin, is that Roy Moore wins by close to 20 points, and that's my prediction.
Wow. Landslide being called by Dr. Gina Loudon. Now, Gina, the people of Alabama, you know very well. You spend a lot of your time with them. You understand them. Why is the rest of the country viewing this race so differently than where the polls are, than what the voters of Alabama are obviously viewing it as?
Well, two things. One is that pollsters just tend to be wrong because let me ask you this question, and I would ask this of everyone in your audience, at least figuratively. When's the last time you took a poll phone call? Right. They aren't calling you and me, right? And when's the last time you took an unidentified call? I don't even take those. Who does anymore? So when you think about how, the general person who, I don't know, just really likes to talk on their phone, I don't know who gets these calls, but it isn't you and me. It isn't anyone on your staff, Kevin, and it probably isn't many people in your radio audience. And so the samples are often very skewed. Secondly, and actually there's going to be three reasons I just realized.
That's fine.
Secondly, a lot of the polling that they're doing is of millennials. They'd love to say, oh, Jones has the millennial support. Since when do millennials ever turn out to vote, Kevin? They don't vote. Millennials don't vote. We can talk about them all day. We can kowtow out to them as much as we want. They still don't vote. And by the way, it's finals week in Alabama at Auburn, and I believe also at University of Alabama. And trust me, those people are not thinking of the millennials right now are not thinking about going out and voting for Jones. And then I think that the last reason is because that same hidden vote that we saw for President Trump when we were told that he couldn't win. It's there. People may not want to say, oh, I'm voting for Judge Moore because there's been such a national indictment in the court of public opinion of Judge Moore. And so they may not want to say they're voting for him, but when they get in that ballot box, they're going to think, you know what? Maybe I don't want to be held accountable for what I did 30 years ago, or maybe I just want to make sure that the next time somebody good wants to run, they aren't afraid that their whole life is going to be decided in the court of public opinion. Or maybe some of those people are thinking, I heard all the opinions, but I didn't see a lot of facts. I care more about facts than feelings. I'm voting for Judge Moore. Yeah. So that's my prediction.
I think that on that last point, and of course, with my microphone, I've tried to be very caring about both women that make accusations, but also about the people that the accusations are made against. I think everyone deserves due process. And the problem that I have with the Moore accusations is that of all the 9 women that have made any type of statement about it, only 2 of them were really indictable. We saw that one of them went down in flames this last week because she's now admitted to basically creating the signature that was on the yearbook that they still haven't turned over and allowed people to examine. And so I have a problem with that, and I think her credibility is shot, regardless of whether or not it's even true. I think she's so compromised her own credibility in that you can't take her seriously. Her son has also come out and said he doesn't believe her. But then the 14-year-old, which was the original charge, her own children have said that she lies. She's tried to entrap pastors in the past in this way. And so you have, unlike the Harvey Weinstein where you have eons of documentable occasions, I've not seen any due process and I've not seen any corroboration with Judge Moore. And for that, I don't think that he should be held to account for things that can't be demonstrated. So I'm hopeful that the right thing happens in Alabama tomorrow. And I think you're right. I think that Judge Moore is going to win big.
It'll be exciting, Kevin, and I hope that everybody who knows people in Alabama calls them and assures them that we need this seat, we need this vote to continue the president's agenda.
All right. Dr. Gina Loudon, thanks so much.
Mike Gallagher is hoping America comes to its senses on sanctuary cities.
A city like San Francisco protects a guy like the Kate Steinle killer so he can be out on the street to do what he did. This will spur an even greater insistence and make the wall and make the elimination of sanctuary cities even more imminent.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 10, right before Dennis Prager at 1 on AM 970. The Answer.
It's that time of year again, and I know many of us, including myself, are nowhere near done with our Christmas shopping. Well, I have a fast, delicious, and very thoughtful gift just for you to use. It's from Capalbo's Gift Baskets. Now, they've been a landmark in the tri-state area for over 110 years, and they're a family-owned business that makes fresh fruit, wine, and gourmet gift baskets. Their store is filled with beautiful baskets and towers, and this year, organic fruit and wine baskets. And it's located right over in Passaic County at 350 Allwood Road in Clifton. We've sent their baskets many times in the past here at this radio station and definitely plan to use them again this season. We want you to experience their amazing products too, so here's a special offer just for AM 970 listeners. Use the promo code Kevin970 during the holiday season, and you're going to save 10% on your order. That's Kevin970 during the holiday season, and you're going to save 10% on your order. Just visit them at Capalbo's online. That's CAPALBOS online.com. Or call them at 800-252-6262. That's Capalbo's online.com. Or 800-252-6262. That's Capalbo's online.com. Or 800-252-6262.
Guys, wouldn't your wife or girlfriend love it if you treated her to the very best this Christmas? Well, you can, and you don't even have to go out of your way. We're talking about the world's softest pajamas, available exclusively at Pajamagram.com. That's Pajamagram.com. Created by a team of dedicated pajama experts, the world's softest pajamas are lighter than a cloud, softer than a bunny, like cashmere, only better. She'll love the way the world's softest pajamas feel, and you'll love the way they look. More than a gift, they're a feeling, an invitation to relax a little longer. The world's softest pajamas are available only at Pajamagram.com. Visit today and give her a gift that keeps on giving to both of you. Plus, you don't even have to wrap because every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging and Christmas delivery is guaranteed. So visit Pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs.
Hi, Kevin McCullough. Have you ever had a legal question pertaining to elder law or estate law and wondered to yourself, what's the best course of action to take? Every Thursday during Kevin McCullough Radio at 5 o'clock on AM 970 The Answer, you'll hear Mike Connors of Connors & Sullivan Attorneys at Law answer a listener's actual question. If you have a legal question for Mike Connors, the Ask the Lawyer host, simply email the question to askmikeconnors@gmail.com or call the Legal Question of the Week phone line at 347-735-MIKE. That's 347-735-6453. And don't forget to tune in to Ask the Lawyer with Mike Connors every Saturday evening at 6 on AM 970 The Answer.
The backyard's looking great, Rob.
Thanks, man. I was planning on adding a deck, too. Know any good contractors?
Why don't you just ask Home Advisor?
Home what?
HomeAdvisor.com. You just tell them about your project and they match you with local pros that can do the job.
Nice. Now, how much does it cost?
Oh, Home Advisor's totally free to use. Plus, you can read customer reviews, check pricing, and book appointments for free.
What's the website again?
HomeAdvisor.com. Or just download the free Home Advisor app.
Home Advisor. Proving that he may be ready for prime time. Frank Morano. Sunday mornings at 4 on AM 970. The Answer.
Wait a minute.
We three kings of Orient time, bearing gifts, we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star.
If it's happening in New York or across the globe, learn why it matters first on Kevin McCullough Radio.
And if it's happening in the markets, we turn to David Fischer on Mondays for our Money Monday. By the way, have you signed up for his newsletter? This is something that you should request and get and read every single month. 844-604-2575 if you've not yet done that. But this month's newsletter, The Fed's Influence, a benefit or a bubble? It's the new newsletter that just came out, The Fed's Influence, a Benefit or a Bubble. You can get that by requesting 844-604-2575, or you can go online at landmarkgold.com and sign up for it, landmarkgold.com. They've also got some other free resources, Changing Directions and Changing Times. That's all about Dodd-Frank and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and also the coming bail-in. Now, this particular piece is in its 7th edition, and this explains how the government can take your money. If you don't want them to do that, then get this and arm yourself with the facts. The coming bail-in, landmarkgold.com or 844-604-2575 and request it. All right, David Fischer, good to have you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me this afternoon, Kevin.
And hope that you're having a Merry Christmas season thus far. We got our first snow day this weekend, and the kids just loved it. They stayed in their jammies all day, and we made hot chocolate and watched Christmas movies. It was so much fun. But in the real world, there were things going on. And President Trump giving a speech on tax overhaul bill. The question is, will it get done by December 22nd? If it is not going to get done, what is the holdup? What is your opinion, David Fischer?
Well, it might be cold in New York, but in the Congress, they're fastly moving, trying to get a bill passed by the 22nd of this month. There's a lot of pride in ownership, both in the House and the Senate versions. They're close, but there's still some confliction between the SALT, the state and local taxes, the AMT, which is the alternative minimum tax. Are they going to get a $2,000 child tax credit, or is it going to be $1,600, and mortgage deduction, what that's going to turn out to be? But the biggest thing is probably the pass-throughs. There's a big gap on that. Real pass-throughs, or, active or passive owners. So, and keep in mind, President Trump gets all his income from pass-through LLCs, so he believes in them, but trying to have Congress understanding of that and how to tax that, that's one of the biggest challenges.
Sure. Listen, last week Congress also passed a short-term debt ceiling extension. Is this what we need? Is it going to help us long-term? Is it just another Band-Aid for the brief next period?
Well, it was a kick the can down the road for bigger things to happen.
Okay.
December 9th, both sides came to the table. That was great. Both sides said we had a productive conversation, but still the wide variety of issues, nothing specifically has been agreed upon. And that's why they kicked the can down the road. They didn't want to have a government shutdown in the midst of all the other things that we have to take care of.
Now, last week we talked about Bitcoin for the first time, but David, since I spoke to you, I kid you not, I saw no less than several dozen social media posts and other things hitting my news feeds talking about Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. What's the latest there?
Well, Bitcoin is the biggest fad, obviously. It was launched today out of the Chicago Board of Options Exchange. And when it was launched, the market shut the trading down twice. When the market moves greater than 10%, they can shut the market down. So we had 2 times of halted trading because the volume was so big. But ironically, only 12 traders were actually trading. That's the insiders on the market there. But we've had some big challenges with Bitcoin. It's been hacked into 3 times in history with millions of dollars, about $700 million being taken from the 3 times of hacking. One was just 2 weeks ago, actually $40 million. So it has some challenges. Bitcoin ownership is very small. It's only $300 billion in the global market compared to U.S. stock equities being at $30 trillion.
Yeah.
And about 1,000 people only own 40% of Bitcoin, so they can kind of control the thing.
Well, that's interesting. Let me ask you this. Everybody's talked about the how well the market's done this year. But you shared with me this last week some information that had to do with how heads of some billionaires, actually, are predicting that we are not going to enjoy this market the way it is for the full year of 2018, that while we're all bullish, that a bear season lurks in the wings. Expound upon that, and expound upon why it's necessary for us now to begin protecting ourselves.
Well, several things. This year so far, 20 billionaires have come out and said be very careful, and of those 25 are saying huge market correction coming in 2018. Another one chimed in. Bill Gross said on CNBC, 2018 is something you need to be worried about, and he believes that central banks, debt, and inflation are going to be the main themes in 2018 with a huge market correction. And Byron Wine, another billionaire, says that the Dow could suffer a 2,400-point blow at any time. That's 10% correction. And CNBC had a poll that on who believes there's going to be a 10% correction. Now, these are investors commenting. 70% say that there could be a 10% correction at any time. And I think people are starting to wake up because the Bank of International Settlement, which is probably the most reputable third-party financial entity that rang the bell loud and clear in 2007 before 2008, and most people poo-pooed their report. They're saying the exact same warning signs last week that they said in 2007. And as a result, we had a 40% stock market correction. Gold went up 72% the first year in 2008 on a multi-year run and doubled in 3 years. So it's very important to diversify and looking at what's happening right now.
Oh, and that's what I want my listeners today to understand. Friends, we're at the end of a long year that's been very successful, no matter really which investment track you've pursued. If you pursued stocks, you did well. If you did metals, you did well. But here's the thing. This stock run cannot last. And when you've got this number of billionaires that do this all day long for a living, and they're saying we're seeing a big correction in the near future, you need to be prepared for that, because that's your children's education fund. That's your retirement. That's the thing that you have worked for and saved for your entire life. So do me a favor, call David's company today, get the information, and then do what you need to do to protect yourself. If they can help you, they'll tell you. And if they can't help you, they'll tell you that as well. They will tell you the truth no matter what. It's why I love Landmark Capital. Please call 844-604-2575 and say, how do I protect myself against the coming correction? And if you really want to know how the government can take your money should such a thing happen, get the coming bail-in resource. It's in its 7th edition. You will not be sorry. 844-604-2575, 844-604-2575, or landmarkgold.com. David, we'll see you next Monday.
Absolutely.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm doing great. I'm loving the balance of nature. I don't know, my hair feels fuller. I think my skin looks nicer. I do see like improvement, and I'm a very energetic person even with type 2 diabetes and everything. I always feel pretty good. So this is really, I think I even have more energy on this, which is great. Some products are, just phony products, and they just tell you. But the people from Balance of Nature, when you hear, like I listen to the radio show so many times, and I'm like, what am I waiting for? Like, I should just try it.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code The Answer.
This holiday season, make the smart choice and switch to Sprint and get a new Samsung Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, Note 8, or S8 Active with 50% off your lease. That's right, the hottest Samsung devices 50% off. Plus, with Galaxy Forever, you can upgrade to the latest Galaxy anytime after 12 lease payments. And when you switch to Sprint, you get the best price for unlimited. $25 per month per line for a family of 4, plus get a 5th line free. That's 50% off Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. You also get 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot in HD, so you can stream your favorite holiday movies, music, and games. So stop by your local Sprint store, sprint.com/holiday deals, or call 1-800-SPRINT1 to learn more.
Requires 18-month lease and new line savings via monthly credit applied within 2 bills. Early termination results in remaining balance due after 1/31/19. Pay $38 a line per month with autopay. Excludes taxes, surcharges, and roaming. Compared to Verizon Beyond Unlimited rates, AT&T Unlimited Plus plan, and T-Mobile One Plus plan for 5 lines. Carrier features differ. Coverage and offer not everywhere. Subject to credit and $30 activation fee. Speed maximums, use rules, and restrictions apply.
Jay Sekulow live is next on AM 970. The Answer.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light.
Obliterating confusion, amplifying truth, and pursuing clarity. It's Kevin McCullough Radio.
want to say thank you to those of you that have joined us and made us a habit of joining us for the latest in breaking news, what it means and why it matters every single day at Kevin McCullough Radio. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are also, if you have not been paying attention, running a tremendous contest with my sponsor, Lord's Diamonds. Anew and Lord's Diamonds are the only diamond dealer that I trust, and I have trusted her on multiple occasions. She has helped me get the perfect piece for the lovely bride when we celebrated a big anniversary not long ago. And to this day, the lovely bride raves about that beautiful piece of jewelry that she gets to wear. So if you have not yet signed up, we're giving diamonds away the weekend before Christmas Day. So if you have not yet signed up to try to win, please call 888-340-3373. Either leave a message or let Alex take your information. We will get you registered for the contest. You can also just email me directly at kmcradio@gmail.com. Put diamonds in the subject line, and then in the body of the email, all you have to put is your name, your mailing address, and your phone number so that we can reach you in case you are the winner of the Grand Christmas Diamond Giveaway. I got this really sweet note from a listener today that said he's nominating his mom because she's not had a good year, and she would like to. They would like to try to give her a really good end of the year, and it doesn't matter if you tell me a sad story. We have to draw it independently. It's like I can't give your entry like favoritism, but that does my heart well. And I'm just so thankful for every one of you. And again, if you want to send your registration, kmcradio@gmail.com, kmcradio@gmail.com. Okay, over the weekend, there were a couple of new sex assault revelations that were somewhat surprising. The celebrity chef Mario Batali now added to the list. That's disturbing. And also a prominent judge on the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, the Ninth Circuit, or circus as I call it, is stacked with people that don't take religion seriously. They don't take morality seriously. They don't even take the Constitution seriously. That's why they're overturned 85% of the time when their cases go to the Supreme Court. But now as many as 6 women who once served as clerks or externs for the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals allege that Judge Alex Kaczynski subjected them to watching porn in his private chambers. Now, I just have a simple question to ask. Is it really all that conceivable that a creepy dude who liked looking at porn in his office with interns would ever be inappropriate with him? Something to think about. I'm Kevin McCullough.